So here we are, after all the lies, all the evidence, all the receipts. You think this will be an open and shut, right? Like this story will be done, right? Oh no, it's not. Not even close. Because the groomer panic, the moral hysteria, the outright smearing of LGBTQ plus people as child predators, oh, that's still here, guys. Come on, louder, bolder, more dangerous than ever. So this is the final segment before my reflection. This is the moment they say the quiet part aloud. Not just what they're doing, but why they keep doing it, who benefits, and how we fight it. So let's start here. The groomer smear lives on because it works. It gets attention. It silences opposition. It justifies cruelty. And when you frame your opponents as literal predators, you don't have to debate them. You don't have to answer their questions. You don't even have to see them as human. That's why politicians, especially on the right, love it. Because calling a drag queen a groomer gets more airtime than talking about school funding. Of course it is. Because accusing teachers of indoctrinating kids gets more campaign donations than fixing healthcare. It's emotional, it's manipulative. It's being used by cowards who want power without accountability. And let's get this out in the open. While the GOP screams about protecting children, they've been writing and blocking laws that do the opposite. You don't believe me? Let me give you the example. 1. Blocking statute of limitations reform. In multiple states, GOP lawmakers had opposed extending or removing statutes of limitations for child sex abuse. You asking why? Because it would open thousands of lawsuits against churches and schools, many of them conservative institutions. Fucking shocking, right? 2. Defending clergy exemptions. GOP legislators have fought to maintain the clergy penitent privilege, meaning that if someone confesses abuse to a priest or pastor, it doesn't have to be reported to the police. That's not about God. That's about shielding predators from justice, because they know a lot of the politicians are a bunch of predators. We've seen it, guys. Come on. And then 3. Punishing survivors and whistleblowers. This is the third example. There's many more. In states like Missouri, Florida, and Texas, Republicans have tried to criminalize the following: teachers who support trans students, doctors who provide gender-affirming care, or parents who affirm their LGBTQ plus child's identity. But you know what they haven't criminalized? Churches that knowingly moved abusers, missionary organizations that cover up overseas assaults, pastors who groom kids under the guise of discipleship. That tells you everything of what they believe in. Now, this part doesn't get talked about enough, because abuse isn't happening in just the United States churches. It's happening globally. And missionary organizations have become one of the most unregulated spaces for predators to operate. Why? Because missionaries operate in poor, isolated, vulnerable communities and are backed by donors, churches, and nonprofits that often have no accountability system. There are dozens of documented cases where American missionaries sexually abused children abroad. Churches found out and reassigned them to another country. No legal charges were ever filed because they were on foreign soil. That's some bullshit there, man. Let me say that again. Missionaries have assaulted children in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the churches that sent them, they brought them home silently, with no consequences. Let me tell you one case out of Haiti. An American missionary named Daniel Pai was convicted for sexually abusing girls at an orphanage he ran. His supporters tried to paint it as a misunderstanding. See the pattern here? And guess what? Some United States churches still supported his work. You want to talk about evil hiding behind God's work? That's it. Let's bring it back to the survivors. Because in every single one of these stories, from Boston to Uganda, from Baptist churches to Mormon missions, there's someone who said, "No, I won't be quiet. Not this time." Some survivors have gone public. Some testified in court. They had to relive that pain in front of people that they don't know. Others just kept telling their stories until anyone believed them. Let's go like Phil Saviano, the Boston survivor who helped the Spotlight team. He was abused by a priest in the 1960s. The church obviously ignored him because why the fuck they would, and they always do the same shit every time. But he kept going, and he helped expose dozens of predators. Or here's another example, Jules Woodson, who spoke out in 2018 after being abused by her Southern Baptist youth pastor at the age of 17. He apologized publicly from the pulpit, and the church clapped. That's some crazy shit right there, man. It's like, come on. They clap for a predator. It's just so crazy. Hey, but Jules, she kept going. She helped launch a movement. Or Megan, who testified against her missionary abuser after being assaulted in Kenya. She went public despite her entire church turning on her. She was told she was damaging the kingdom, but she told the truth. These people are heroes, not the politicians. They're a bunch of fucking cowards. Not the pastors, they're predators. And not the press secretaries, neither. The survivors are the ones walking in the light, while everyone else hides in their pews. Let's go all the way back to the start. Because it becomes the groomer smear isn't offensive, it's deadly. And it creates a world where queer kids are afraid to come out. Trans youth are denied life-saving care. And teachers and allies are silenced. Real predators are walking free right now. It turns out or outrage in the wrong direction. And if we don't fight back, if we stay quiet because we're afraid of being labeled too political or too angry or too woke, we're just part of the problem. Because the GOP and their church allies are hoping we do that. They want to be the only voice in the room. They want to write the laws, own the morality, control the narrative. We can't let them, guys. Come on. So here's how we might end this segment. And I'm not gonna lie, this is emotional for me because, like I mentioned, I grew up believing the Catholic Church. I believe the words. I believe everything there. And now I watch people weaponize those same words to justify cruelty, silence victims, and protect predators. Guys, that's not love. That's not faith. That's fear. The real enemy isn't queerness. It's power without the accountability. It's silence when it matters most. It's institutions so obsessed with image that they rather protect a rapist than believe a child. We need to reclaim the truth, not just by calling out the lie, but by refusing to be silent about who's telling it. The church won't clean itself up. The politicians won't write justice on their own. It's on us. The survivors, the allies, the angry, the unafraid. Because once you see the lie, once you really see who's been lying and why, you never go back. And more importantly, you make damn sure no one else falls for this again.